Hey, Coach. I'm Sean, and I'm here to run the little meeting today. And can you give me an audio test real quick? One more time.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you. And all right, Kyle, we are ready to go.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach Traylor. JJ, you're up first.
Jeff, how was practice this morning?
We were good. We're getting better. I really commended them on, we're learning how to do stuff right. I mean, simple things like bring our notes every day, sit up in our chair, just very simple, ordinary things, take care of our teammates, gives great scout team looks, things that you would think are very normal, but they're really not nowadays. We have a very selfless football team. They care about each other, and they take care of each other, and they're learning to practice for each other every day. And they're a joy to coach every day. They're getting better every day. We're not anywhere near where we need to be. Don't hear me wrong, but we're getting better every day.
Last week we kind of talked a little bit about how banged up you guys are. How would you characterize the overall health of your team at this point in the season?
Typical football. Injuries. We've got some guys out, and some we wish, we're not out as long as they're going to be, but it is what it is. And then, it's a very physical sport played by physical players. And that's why you have to recruit and develop. You got to have a roster that's deep, and player development is just as important as recruiting. Ryan Philo and Nick and Dan and our coaches have to keep getting players ready. And that's our job as coaches, and our players have bought into that as well. Next man up. I know y'all hear it all the time, but next man up.
Hey, Greg.
Jeff, how you doing?
Good morning, Greg.
We're getting ready to talk to Dadrian Taylor here today. He's listed at 180 pounds on your roster, but playing, I guess, a Sam linebacker position. How do you sort of describe his skill set and what makes him a fit there?
One, he's extremely tough. He's very athletic. He's extremely bought in. He loves what we're teaching and preaching, and he's just very bought in. And obviously, him being voted a single digit reflects that. And he just brings it. He brings it every single day, and he's turned into a little team leader, believe it or not. I know he might not look the part, but he plays the part.
Is it tough for a guy at his size to be that close to the line of scrimmage that often, or do you kind of use him in different ways?
Yeah, he's usually, out there splitting number 2 receiver and the tackle. So, he's not in, 12 personnel and that kind of stuff. We'll play clearance a little bit more. So we protect him on certain situations, but he didn't want to hear that. He'll go out there and battle all of them.
It's been interesting to see Xavier Spencer, a freshman, start to take a role in the secondary. What's made him a guy who's ready to come in and contribute early on?
Comes from a great program, so he knows what the game's about. So that's first. He's got length, and he practices his tail off every day. He's really maturing right in front of our eyes. He had another good practice today.
We haven't seen Tyke Ogle-Kellogg play yet this season. Is there anything you can tell us about his status or when he might be able to get on the field for you guys?
It's day to day. We'll see. It's day to day.
How about Brendan Brady? Is there any more of a prognosis for him and what he might be able to do in the future?
He's getting better every day as well.
Hey, JJ.
Jeff, BYU announced yesterday that there's not going to be any fans at the stadium this weekend. Do you know kind of what to expect?
I've heard from other opponents they have a tremendous atmosphere. So I don't know if they've just got great music playing or they got, they're putting in fan noise. I can tell something's going on by the way their sideline is. They're into it now on the sideline. They got their own pillow killers, I guess, up there because you can see their sideline's very excited. So I don't know if that's coming from the stadium or that's just energy from the players. But I hear it's a beautiful environment. I know it's supposed to be 73 and not much humidity. So I've heard it's just gorgeous up there.
Okay, Greg, back to you.
Jeff, we always like to check in on this every once in a while. Have you been able to keep up the string of COVID testing without any positive results coming back, or where do you guys stand with that?
We don't test again until tomorrow, and we'll have 2 tests tomorrow. But yeah, our streak is still alive.
Did you find any challenges in terms of that, like safety or protocol with your first real travel road trip last week? Is there anything you're adjusting this week as far as that goes?
Just the nuisance of keeping your mask on a plane the entire time. I told Dr. Compost I was going to eat the entire plane ride just so I could keep my mask off. I was going to eat 1 peanut a minute just so I could let my mask be off. She didn't like that, so I had to put my mask back on.
But is like hotel and getting to and from the stadium and all that stuff pretty normal compared to a typical year, or do you have to change that?
It's funny you bring that up, Greg. One thing I did not think about, which I'm not saying I think of everything, because I sure as heck don't, but the elevators up, we're on the 5th, 6th, and 7th floor, and they're only letting 4 of us on the elevator at a time. So you can imagine how long it took us to get up to our rooms and then back down for team meals and team meetings. We put that on the list of things we got to get better at this week, Greg, planning for the elevator.
Okay, anything else for Coach Traylor? All right, appreciate it. We'll get some players in there shortly.
God bless BirdsUp. See y'all.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take questions for Adrian Taylor. JJ, you're up first.
Day, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks for joining us today. What's the mood like been with the guys this week after that loss at UAB?
Honestly, I feel like it's brought us together more as a team because as you've seen in the past years, we haven't really played that well against UAB. And last week, it was so close. That one hurt us. It hurt us as a team. So it just made us want to come out and even practice harder and just go harder. So we could be prepared for the next opponent.
How would you say the defense is playing? Do you think you guys are improving from week to week?
Yeah, every week. I think we gradually improve. And last week we showed we can be very dominant at times going against a good offense like UAB has. And I think last week was a good week for us just to see where we stand and how good we can be at times.
What about yourself personally? How would you say you've played so far this season?
I haven't really played up to my expectations, but I feel like when I'm in the game, I do my part to help the defense out. So that's what matters most. And the individual accolades don't really matter to me as much as the wins do.
So on the depth chart, you're listed as a linebacker, the Sam linebacker. How different is that position for you versus anything else you played?
It's not really different. It's sort of the nickel position. It's just labeled as a linebacker because of the set we run. But I've never really just thought about it that much. I mean, I just play physical and I just have fun. That's the way you got to play. Especially if you're going to be down there close to the box, you just got to play physical. You got to play tough. You can't think about it. You just have to go.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Adrian, how you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good.
I'm wondering, did you have any experience in that type of role before, or was this kind of a transition for you this year?
Last year we played kind of sort of similar defense. I was a nickel safety, so it's kind of the same, except in this defense I'm playing more in the run fit as a Sam linebacker. But yeah, it's not that much of a change.
What was it like for you going through that injury situation this year? That one looked pretty scary. What happened on that play?
It was very tough. I just got rolled up on and I fell the wrong way. It looked way worse than it was. I mean, it still hurt, but through the grace of God, I managed to get out with not something as serious as I would have thought.
Was it a challenge for you to get back to the field, and do you feel like fully 100% now? Where do you stand?
Oh yes, sir. I feel great now, and it was a challenge, but I put in a lot of work in that week I took off last week. So I just stayed dedicated, and I got back on the field.
You've obviously taken on a pretty big role for this team now. What would you say are the biggest challenges you've overcome just to get to this point in your career? It could be anything on the field or off the field that you've kind of made it through to reach where you are now.
Definitely my son. I have a son who's a year and a half old, and he plays a big part in what I do every day, just waking up from school to waking up to anything I do. I think about my son first and how it'll affect him.
What's his name?
Daxton.
Cool. And it's been interesting this year. You have your younger brother is now on the team, kind of getting to see him play and getting a chance to have some opportunities out there. What's that dynamic been like for you?
Oh, that's my best friend right there. It feels so good to be playing with my brother again. I got to play with him my senior year in high school, but he broke his ankle in the season, so we didn't really get to play that much together. So just for him to have an opportunity to be back here with me again, it feels so good.
How would you evaluate how he's done so far?
I think he's picked up on it great, especially being a freshman, true freshman out there. And he's just learning every day. He's getting better. He always asks me, like, even when we're not in football, we're at home, he'll be asking me about plays, asking me how he could play this better. And I just love that about him. He always wants to get better. He's a competitor, just like me.
What jumps out about BYU getting ready for this opponent specifically?
They have a very exceptional quarterback. The quarterback is really good. So we're just going to have to do our jobs this week, and I feel like we'll play good against them.
Is there something that you can gain as a team from playing a group as strong as theirs is? Is there something you take from that and can go forward in the year after this one?
Honestly, we just look at every opponent the same. We don't really strategize different from much. We're just a physical defense. We're going to get to the ball. We're going to play tough, and that's what we're going to do every week.
One of the interesting things in this game is that Rashad's not going to be out there for you guys for the first half. Do you or anybody else take on an extra leadership role, or what impact does that have on you guys?
Rashad is a big leader for us, but him not being there in the first half, it's going to I feel like it'll take an effect a little bit, but once we get rolling, we're hard to stop on that defense when we get rolling.
Last week was your first real road trip going somewhere. How was it different from a usual year, given all the different precautions that are in place for you guys?
The mask was a big deal. The biggest thing was having us stay focused through everything that was going on outside of the football game, and just having to stay locked in that whole time, because like you said, it was our first real road trip. So it was many different things going on. That was our first time staying at a hotel this year. So it was a lot going on. We just had to I think I gave us more time to get mentally buttoned up and just get ready, stay focused for the game.
Is there anything about that process that you want to do differently this week?
We just got to finish. That's all.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anything else for Day? All right, appreciate it. We'll get some other players in there shortly.
Thanks, Day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
It's going good.
Thanks for joining us. How was your guys' practice these last 2 days?
Great. We're taking the right steps forward, doing what we need to do, get ready for BYU.
How would you say you guys played this past week? It was a pretty strong performance by the offensive line specifically. How would you say you guys did?
I think we did good, but I feel like we can do better at certain things, giving the quarterback more room to throw the football, making sure he feels safe back there in that pocket.
What about you? How do you think you played this past week?
I think I played okay, but I feel like I can play way better. It's not up to my standard yet.
Has it been hard trying to, come back? You just started playing here recently, and you got to play yourself into shape a little bit. Has that been difficult?
No, it's not that. It's a little, yeah. The in shape part is a little difficult to get back in because you can't practice that game speed. But other than that, no, I'm finding myself back to my rhythm, and feeling myself back in.
How hard has it been? Coach Lunny has said, they're trying to get 85, 90 snaps. That's a lot of snaps for offensive linemen. And how important is it, to be conditioned and, have some depth on that O-line?
That's the number one thing. That's the number one importance that we harp a lot about: getting down, getting set, getting in shape. So yeah, being in shape is the one thing that we need to keep continuing and keep working on, and stuff like that.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wondering how much practice time did you end up missing at this, like through fall camp or leading up to the season?
It wasn't. I was missing practice. It was just I wasn't ready to play yet. So I was cut down on a little bit on the reps, but I didn't miss practice at all.
So were you able to keep up that conditioning standpoint, or is I'm sure game reps are completely different from what you might get in that kind of setting?
I feel like I was in shape for practice, but I wasn't there yet for game. It's just hard to get those game reps in practice. It's hard to accumulate that. It's a little harder to do that.
How much time does it take to get up to top form? When do you feel like you might kind of hit your stride?
This week, I feel like I'll be back and ready this week. This is a big week for everybody on the line.
What's the difference? How do you know when you've hit that point or when you're ready to be at your top peak?
You never know. It just happens. It's like a blink. You never know when your top peak gets there. You just got to be ready for it and keep working to it.
What's been the process like of sort of building chemistry on the offensive line? You got some new guys and then a couple of guys in new positions.
Really, I would say communication. It's like a different communication. All right, I got to talk to this guy right here different than I talked to some of the cats last year. So it's just a big communication thing and getting to know each other outside of football. And
yeah. How do you go about building that? Where does that come from or how does that improve?
Just getting extra film, calling my buddy, come up here, let's talk about this. Doing things outside of football, making sure we stay as a family, working as one.
What can you tell us about Mekhi Hart? We're getting to see a little bit of him for the first time now.
Beast. He's a beast. I like him. I really like the way he plays. He's smart. He came in, would you say, he's older, so he's ready to go. And he's catching on. He wants to learn and stuff like that. So, yeah, I like playing with Mekhi.
Did you see right away that he might be a guy that could contribute, or what was your first impression of him?
Yeah, from the jump, he was more mature than most people that come in. And he was catching on quick, learning things, and hey, I'm gonna do this footwork instead of that footwork. So he was just more mature about everything. So yeah, I seen it from the jump with him.
Like I mentioned, we've seen through a few weeks kind of some guys moving around. Spencer switch sides and Mekhi getting in the mix, and yourself coming back. Do you feel like right now you guys have found the right group of offensive linemen that you like, or do you think we might see some more shuffling as time goes on?
That's a good question. I think we might have found it, but it's other cats that still want to play and get in, like B. Ralph, Demetrius Allen, Pastucci, all those guys. We just trying to find those five, but we still got enough to play with 7 if we have to play with 7.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Kevin, what's it like playing next to Maka? Coach said he had a pretty good game this past week. Can you just tell us, what it's like playing next to him?
he brings the physicalities for the O-line. He makes sure it's there. Like playing with Maka, you know he gonna come with it, so you gotta come with it. And there's no way but to come with it because you know Maka's playing physical and he gonna do what he's supposed to do. So it makes everybody step up their game a little more playing with Maka.
Is it different blocking with the different quarterbacks? Is there any difference from you guys from a standpoint of who plays?
It might be a little different from Frank because Frank can get out the pocket and read from outside the pocket. But with everybody else, we just got to make sure they feel comfortable. That's the big thing, making sure they feel comfortable with the way we're blocking.
Hey, Greg, you want to wrap this up?
Sure. So, Kevin, what stands out about BYU? Coach Traylor was saying they have a lot of size and experience in the trenches that you guys are going to be up against.
The D-line stands out. So it's going to be a big game for us. Make sure we're getting technique sound, feet work, putting hands on people, making sure we making sure Frank is safe back there and doing what he needs to do to win.
What can you and the other offensive linemen learn and gain from facing a group with that level of talent?
You can learn where you are in football, where you stand, or you can go out there and kill, and know that you can compete with those guys. So really, it's going to show you exactly where you are and what we need to work on and what we don't need to work on, things like that.
Cool. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
No.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll get Antonio Parks.
Thanks, Katie.
You're welcome. See y'all later.
Piece of black tape on the floor, and the camera is to your left there, you'll see the screen. And the guy on the other side of the wall is going to get you the
Yeah, I got you.
set up.
Okay, AP, go ahead and give us a quick count to 5. Just make sure we can hear you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, I think we're all set. Take questions for Antonio Parks. JJ, you're up first.
Hey, Antonio, how's it going today?
How you doing, JJ?
Not too bad. Thanks for joining us. How'd you say you guys practiced these last few days coming off that tough loss?
Everybody confidence is still up. I mean, nobody's hanging their head. We still working hard. And we got a sense of urgency out there and guys getting lined up pretty quick and just doing our job and doing what the coaches asked us. We still pretty confident out there.
You guys feel like you're improving in the secondary every week?
Oh yeah, absolutely. With the guys changing positions and crossing over, we only gaining more confidence back there, and we're getting comfortable with each other, relying on each other for calls, what the formation is, and different things like that. So we're definitely getting better week by week.
What about your role on the defense? How would you say you've played, personally, and then what do you think you could get better at?
Personally, for me, my role on the defense is huge. I'm in many different packages, so each week I got to bring it. And far as things I got to get better on, I mean, it's a lot of things I can go and say, but probably just playing with better leverage and probably just having more sense of urgency in situations. But definitely a bigger role this year, taking on a huge role and just doing what I have to do out there.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Antonio, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you, Greg?
I'm all right. Similar to what JJ was asking you, what do you describe as your biggest strength as a player right now? What can you bring to the team that's maybe different from some of the other guys?
I'm very versatile. Plug and play anywhere in the secondary. Very smart. Could learn pretty quick and get lined up pretty quick. So I bring a lot to the defense and special teams as well.
Do you see any differences in yourself compared to last year?
Absolutely. My game has expanded. I'm very much smarter than I was last year. I'll say that's based off of what we're doing now. You have to see the formation to get the calls, and you have to do a lot of different things. And that made me a better player because now I'm taking on the role of knowing what I have to do, knowing what other guys have to do.
Is that different from how it worked last year, or were you sort of just more worried about your own responsibilities?
Yeah, it's very different. You was probably a lot more worried about what you had to do and where you probably fit at in the run game. And pass game, you probably just knew you just had a simple drop or you had a man. Now it's a lot more going on, a lot more motions, a lot more shifts, a lot of different checks. So it's definitely my game has definitely expanded.
It sounds like that would be a lot more of a challenge just to have to do that many different things. What was the adjustment like?
I loved it. I mean, for me, I'm a guy who take that challenge and run with it. You know, I took that as a big opportunity and put it up on myself to learn what I have to do, learn what other guys have to do so I can know where my help is and what we have to do on different calls. So it was definitely fun and I took it as a challenge and I loved it.
What have you noticed so far, like the biggest differences being in the UTSA program versus being at Arizona?
Well, a bunch of different staffs. So to say the least, the biggest difference is just probably different coordinators have different game plans and different things that they bring to the game. So that's probably the biggest difference, but it's the same, man. It's football. It's 11 guys out there. It's 11 guys you're going against. It's going to be rotations. It's going to be football. So really not a big difference, so to say, but just a lot of different coordinators and a lot of different calls and things that I had to learn over the time.
What led to your initial decision to transfer?
Just the coaching change and just me. I wanted a better opportunity for myself. Wanted to get back down south and play some good football and expand my role on the defense.
Yeah, how has it felt this year, like that emotional side, to be able to take on that expanded role and to be on the field a lot more?
I loved it. It's been feeling great. I've been seeing myself as this type of player that can move around and be versatile for a D coordinator. And Coach Tyrone Nix and Coach Lepp did a great job with putting me in good position to be successful, whether it's in different packages or playing at the field safety. They do a lot of different things with me, and I love it.
And now you guys are getting ready to head into the first half of this week's game without Rashad. How is that going to change things for you guys in the secondary?
I mean, we have 4 guys in that room that can go. I mean, we all can go. I mean, it's going to be next man up mentality. But his presence in that first half definitely will be missed. Playing alongside him, I know me and him will bring it. I mean, if he don't come down to hit somebody, I know I'll come down to hit somebody. So just knowing that he's over there and he's going to hit and knowing I'm on the other side and I'll hit, that'll be missed a little bit. But the other guys hit too. I mean, there's 4 guys in that room that can roll. Next man up.
Do you personally try to fill that leadership void a little bit or bring some of maybe the communication that he would bring normally?
Absolutely. I mean, we all take on that role. I mean, all 4, like I said, we all try to be leaders. We try to learn from each other. We all challenge each other each and every day to get better, and we all pushing each other. As you can see right now, different guys rolling in, rolling out, and it's going to be who have the hot hand and who's going to bring the best game.
BYU seems to have a pretty potent offense. What jumps out about those guys?
Pretty smart guys, disciplined in their technique, know where to go, get lined up pretty quick. They do a lot of good things on offense. They have a good quarterback who's going to put the ball in places where you can't get it, so you have to be in great position and play with great leverage while playing those guys.
What can you and the rest of the players in the secondary learn or carry forward from facing not just the quarterback, but they have a couple of really good receivers too? How does that benefit you guys?
Just being great communicators while we're out there. That's something we harping on right now must do better is communicating. Just as long as we on the same page and everybody know whose man is who and what zone we in and what coverage we got, as long as everybody's on the same page, we'll be fine. So just communicating.
Is it beneficial for you guys to face that type of challenge? Does that help you the rest of the year?
Absolutely, because when you know you're playing against a guy who's disciplined and physical and going to give you a good look, it's only going to make you better going forward.
Cool. Got it, Antonio. Thank you.
Already great.
Anything else for Antonio? All right, thanks. We'll get Corey in here in a minute.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
your guy on the other side of the wall. He's gonna get you. Set it.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Sean, and I'm going to be working the interview today. Can you just give me a count of 5 to make sure the audio is working?
Really hear.
Yeah. So I'll talk to you.
Okay. Corey, just go ahead and count to 5 for us. Just make sure we can hear you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. All right. We'll take questions for Corey Mayfield. JJ, you're up first.
Hey, Corey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Not too bad. Thanks for joining us today. What's been the mood like of the team these last 2 practices? How have you guys bounced back from that loss?
We just been working, Coach. Coach ain't real big in the win and lose, and we just been grinding away. I mean, we take it one day at a time. We just practice hard.
How would you say your cornerback positions, the corners this year? How have you guys played? Are you guys getting better every week?
I think we're getting better every week. I think Coach Nix do a great job of putting us in the right spot. Coach Graham teaching us, he got NFL experience. He been teaching us all the right spot. We got coaches like that. We should get better every day, and it's a little easier to get better every day.
What about your play specifically? How do you think you've done so far this year?
I think my coach did a great job putting me in good positions. I've left some plays out there, but just got to chip away, just get better.
Last year, you were kind of thrown into the fire a little because of necessity. How much have you grown since last year?
I don't think I was thrown in the fire, but I think I've grown a lot due to these coaches, due to what I've been through my last playing experience. I think I got a lot better.
Okay, Greg, you're up.
Hey, Corey, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm wondering, kind of along those same lines, what specific areas do you see that you've gotten better? Like, how have you improved as a player?
I think I moved my feet a little better. I think I got more knowledge on filling routes, like midway through the route. I got to get better at playing the ball. Yeah.
What was it like? How much do you remember about coming in as a freshman 2 years ago and being asked to play right away? What was that experience for you?
Man, now that's throwing the fire right there. I mean, it was a humbling experience. I love football. I love competition. So, I mean, it's nothing you just shy away from. I mean, just got to get better. But I enjoyed it. I mean, if we was to go back and do it again, I'd do it again.
How much did those experiences help you coming back in future seasons, just to have some early opportunities?
It helped me a lot. Coach Graham liked to remind me about them situations, so keep me working. But it helped me a lot.
Now you guys have another freshman cornerback in Xavier Spencer. What have you been able to tell him about, maybe your experience and how he can work through what he's doing now?
Oh, yeah, he coming along. He got good size. He got better size than me. He real long. He going to be all right. We just tell him work hard every day. I mean, it ain't just nothing special. We just tell him we just keep grinding. I try to be a leader by example. So I just want him to follow me on the field and just do him, be him.
Is it tough, especially as a freshman, to shake off if you make a mistake or get beat on a play? How do you guys handle that mentally, especially as a younger player?
Cornerback, that's just a mindset. I mean, if you come to play college corner, I mean, that's just the mindset you got to have. Dudes going to make plays. I mean, sometimes we going to make plays. But, I mean, it should be nothing we really got to teach. I mean, dudes going to make plays, next play mentality.
For you personally, is there any specific adversity that you feel like you've overcome to get to where you are in your career now, playing a lot and contributing regularly, whether it's on the field or off the field? What's the hardest thing you've had to push through to get here?
What's the hardest thing I had to push through? I don't know. I don't know if I want to share that one.
All right, no worries. Well, how about BYU this week? Sort of what stands out about them?
They got a real good quarterback. They got some size on the outsides. They got a real good O-line. I think they're overall disciplined, and they got some dudes doing what they got
to do. I mean, they're a good team. We just got to come and really out-discipline them. You know, we've been chipping away at that every day.
How much can you and the rest of the cornerbacks group benefit from facing some receivers as strong as theirs? And really, you saw some really talented players against UAB last week. Do these experiences help you carry forward through the year?
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to really see guys like this in the conference. Yeah, these dudes big. They 6'4". I mean, they run nice routes. So, I mean, this is going to be a real big challenge for us.
Is it the kind of thing where if you can hold up here, you know, everything else feels a little bit easier, or just you kind of see you might expose some holes in your own game? Like, how does it help you?
I mean, it just get us better. I mean, we ain't seen dudes like this.
Okay, anything else for Corey? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Corey.